This sign was created in 1959, a long time ago. As you can see, that it's very popular. Come with me as I take you through time to see how Las Vegas has changed all throughout the years.
How you doing today, JD?
Good.
Good. I tell you what, it's great to see you out here at the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, where I am hanging out here with my pink Cadillac. And now, JD, I understand that your name is really JD. Is that right?
Yes.
You know, Elvis had a good friend by the name of JD Sumner. He was JD Sumner in the Stamps Quartet. So you share the name of a dear friend of Elvis's. Now, I understand that you were wondering if I was the real Elvis Presley. Is that right? You were wondering that?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, I am the next best thing.
So, where are you from, Elvis?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. But that's not where I was born.
Where were you born?
I was born in Tupelo, Mississippi.
So, my audience wants to hear you sing. Can you sing like Elvis?
Absolutely. You're going to help me too, JD. Okay? On three, we sing Hound Dog. Alright? 1, 2, 3. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Right on time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Right on time. Well, you ain't ever got a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine.
1945 was the time of openings of casinos and hotels which caused tourism and entertainment. The real Elvis Presley performed in the International Hotel, now known as the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel, which is right behind me. Elvis was only one of the many stars to perform there, like the Rat Pack and Wayne Newton. Elvis was also one of the thousands of people to get married in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. When Rafael Rivera discovered Las Vegas, it was in the mid-1800s, when the only people that lived there were Paleo and Anasazi Indians. Now it was hard to find water in Las Vegas, but back then it was known for its oasis-like qualities. Like where we are right now, Florida Land State Park in Tule Springs. I'm standing here in front of an adobe hut made from one of the early settlers in Nevada. Soon after Raphael's discovery, it made Nevada the 36th state in America. In the early 1900s, saw the completion of a railroad from Southern California all the way to Salt Lake City. The abundant water supply in Las Vegas made this area a great spot to stop, refuel. Behind me is an old water tower that used to hold water and pumped it to the watch. As you can see, there used to be stairs going down so they could go into the second apartment. In May 15th, 1905, Las Vegas officially became a city. Las Vegas became a part of Clark County in 1911, and by that time, our population was 800 people. Do you realize what that means? In less than 100 years, our population has shot up around 2 million people. I'm here standing under the giant canopy that Fremont Street experienced. This was once the main street running through Las Vegas. It was closed off to cars in 2005. Fremont Street was named after John C. Fremont. He made 20 1,000 new maps with Las Vegas on them. One of the newest things to do in Fremont is the zip line. Road, which is soon to be the newest exit on 95. In the background, you can see our school, Billray Elementary School, and I'm standing next to Dave and Lori Johnson. They're native to Las Vegas. So what was it like around here when you were kids?
Well, when I was a kid, there was nothing here at all. It was just complete desert. Probably the town ended about 15 miles to the south of us here, so this was just completely desert.
95 over here to our right was a two-lane highway that stretched all the way up into Tonopah and Reno, but it was a long drive and there were no exits along the way. And actually, it would originate from Rancho Drive. Rancho Drive, where it intersects 95, would then just become 95 and continue up north.
So, what was one of your favorite memories growing up in Las Vegas?
Well, Las Vegas at that time was a really, really small town compared to what it is now. There were about 200,000 people maybe compared to the 2 million people in Clark County. So it was a small town, so we did a lot of small town things. We had the Eldorado Day Parade. We had the city of Las Vegas put on a thing in the summer called Youth Camp, where all the kids would come and participate in different things like greased pig race and all those kinds of things. So it was a much smaller town atmosphere at that time.
For us, we used to like to go hiking out in the desert, and when I say desert, I mean off of Van Road is where we used to go out and do a lot of hiking, which is now almost close to the center of town.
Sounds interesting.
It was.
So, what was the biggest challenge growing up here in Las Vegas?
The biggest change?
The
The
biggest
biggest change that's happened since we've grown up here? I'd say probably just the size of the city. It's probably, I don't know, it's probably at least quadrupled in size, if not more, probably more, I would say, since we were growing up here. The city limits were very, very small compared to what they are now.
When we were growing up, the western edge of town was rainbow. There really were no streets beyond that, other than rural roads and an occasional rural house out in the middle of the desert somewhere. But there was nothing really beyond Rainbow Boulevard.
When we used to drive up to Mount Charleston, it would seem like it would take us all day to get there, because you would go, I mean, the end of the city would be about 15 miles from Mount Charleston turnoff, so it just would be a small little road taking you out there, and it would take a long time to get out there, or even to Tule Springs Park, which is just down the street. It would take us all day, it felt like, to get there. It would take at least an hour to an hour and a half just to get there, because we lived so far away and there was nothing. So it's really changed.
Thank you very much. So Dave, what were the hotels like when you were a child?
When I was growing up, we didn't have as many hotels as we do now. As a matter of fact, most of the hotels that were around when I was a kid are gone, but there are a few that are still left. Sahara Hotel, that's been there for a long time. The Riviera, Circus, Tropicana, Hilton. Am I forgetting anything?
And then Bally's, used to be MGM Hotel. Yes, that was the original MGM. There wasn't the other new MGM, but there is now. So all the other casinos and hotels that you see are all new from when we were kids. There wasn't any Luxor or Mirage or any of those, New York. And we didn't really have any local casinos either. The only local casino we had at that time was Palace Station, but it was called Bingo Palace at that time.
It was mainly just a bingo parlor.
Yep. Yep. One of the best hotels I thought that we had was called the Landmark, and they imploded that one. But it was kind of like the Stratosphere, and it had
A little bit smaller, a little bit shorter.
a lot shorter. But it was really neat at that time because it was it was the tallest, basically, here, because we didn't have really tall casinos at that time, and it just had the restaurant way up tall. You could see out over the whole city and everything.
The restaurant on top is kind of like the Stratosphere. It revolves, so you can get a panoramic view of the whole city as you dine. But you're right, I agree, that was a neat place.
So it's basically like a miniature stratosphere.
It's like a miniature stratosphere.
Like a miniature stratosphere.
Yeah.
Yep.
And actually, when they imploded that one, they taped it and used it in a movie. It's a Martian movie.
I didn't even know.
Is it true that the Hilton Hotel is now used to be called the International Hotel?
Yep. It was known as the International. That's back when Elvis Presley used to play there. And a lot of old names of people who are gone used to play there. I remember when the Beatles played at the convention center. I was a little boy then. I wasn't quite old enough to know what the Beatles were.
But yeah, and speaking of the convention center, that's really the only place that we had that had any convention facilities. None of the hotels had any convention facilities, so anything that happened in Las Vegas happened at the convention center. You know, any kind of citywide activities or anything we did at the convention center. And so it was a very small place, but that was where we did things. And now the convention center is not used as much.
Las Vegas is a town constantly changing. Even as we speak, pieces of the past are being torn down to make room for the future. This part of the Tropicana Hotel is being torn down. Behind me is the neon graveyard where hundreds of signs have been preserved. For a small fee, you could go in there, step through gates, and step into the past. Many signs have also been preserved on Fremont Street. History comes to life from casinos that have now been destroyed. Las Vegas is very different from what it used to look like, but it's still the wedding and entertainment capital of the world. We're still known for our entertainment. Around 2 million people live here in Las Vegas. And countless tourists travel here every year. If you haven't been to Las Vegas, I would suggest putting it on your must-see list. I'm JD Bridges, your on-the-spot reporter, signing off.
Viva Las Vegas!